Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. This is the 31 Days of Tarot 2020 challenge started by Ethany, I believe years ago. My name is OLNUZOLA and this is day 5. Day 5's subject is what has tarot taught you during the last decade. Now for this subject, I had to sit and think about it for a bit. And it brought me back to the beginning of my journey. I spoke about that in my yesterday's video, how I started my tarot journey with the Thoth deck 5 years ago. And tarot has been a big part during my healing journey, so it has done a lot for me. But what has it taught me? Now, my first thought was it actually more reminded me than taught me. Well, that's the first feeling that I had, because that's how I experienced it. I don't recall a moment. I'm not saying that I didn't have it, but to me it wasn't really about, whoa, that's an interesting way to look at it, or it was more like, oh yeah, of course, yeah, thanks for reminding me. Because yeah, many moments in my life, I think we all experienced that we lost track of something because we're overwhelmed by something else. And so it's more of a tool that helps us to refocus. But yeah, I want to be honest, what has it taught me? And I think that's very theoretical. The theory part, the informative part, that did teach me things in that sense. It did teach me about Kabbalah, because before I started my tarot journey, I knew that Kabbalah existed, but I never got into it. So it definitely is the tool that introduced me to Kabbalah. Tarot did teach me more about astrology. I grew up with astrology because my mother is an astrologer, so I grew up with astrology books laying all around the house, and my mother actually makes horoscopes, and she did that before we could calculate it on the internet, because the internet wasn't there yet. She had these books with all the information, so she could actually calculate the positions and draw it and everything. And anyway, I'm getting off topic. So I already knew things about astrology, but I learned more about astrology through tarot. I learned more about numerology through tarot. And of course, I learned a lot more symbolism through the tarot, because that's, and yeah, I'm not gonna share all the symbols that I learned through the tarot. I can say, yeah, for example, in the Empress card of the Thoth deck, I learned about the pink pelican with the red spot here and her children. That's a symbol of the self-sacrificial part of motherhood, of feminine energy. So yeah, as I observed the cards, the images on the cards, I recognized things. They reminded me of things, and I also saw aspects, images, elements of which I got curious and thought, what does the creator of this image wants to communicate with me? What are the different meanings of this symbol? So it did act and motivated me to look it up. in tarot books, but more so in other books, books about symbology, books about mythology, and so on. Yeah, and besides that, like a big part in my healing journey is that it's not that I learned or developed the skill that I'm talking about now, but it's more so that it reminded me to look at it holistically. And then now I'm specifically talking about the dark, dark days in my life. Because I think almost all of us use tarot as a tool that helps us, right? That helps us seeing the things from different perspectives so that we can continue. And during my darkest days, I already spoke about this, so I don't want to repeat myself all the time. But naturally, I'm a person that's quite optimistic and sees beauty in small things, and so that's an example of what I mean by it's not so that tarot taught me to see the light in the dark, because that's something that I found out by myself because of all the tests that I've been through, because of all the beasts that I conquered and so on. But tarot has been a supportive element in that. And I think that's why I've never been scared of the scary cards. I've never thought, oh my god, I hope I won't get the death card, I hope I won't get the devil card, I hope I won't get the tower card, oh my god, no. I've never had that. It was more so, okay, tower, okay, devil, I see you. What are you trying to tell me? Yeah. So that's what I mean by remembering. And also support. It has more so been a supportive tool. A tool that reminded me what was forgotten from my own life in this body, of my previous lives, of the wisdom of my ancestors, of the wisdom of us all in this, how you call it in English again? The collective subconscious. Yeah. So I think that's about it today, guys. Otherwise, I will keep talking in circles. And I tend to make long videos, so I think today will be a short video. Okay. Yeah, subscribe, comment, and all that. Because I enjoy reading your comments, and I enjoy this challenge. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And, oh yeah, side note, completely off topic, but I feel that I have to share it with you now. I mentioned today and earlier this week, sometimes when I went on Facebook, that there's a lot of fear spreading on the internet, and I'm not putting it on this community, I'm not putting it on my channel, but now I am. See how it goes. Only thing that I wanted to share is, no, I'm not gonna do this. No, I'm not gonna do this. Only thing that I wanted to share is don't put too much attention to it, because there's something going on now, and do not let the fear in, my darlings. So when you see these negative posts, recognize it as, oh, there's another one. Gone. And look at that beautiful plant that you have in your living room. Look at your cat, how it's so cuddly. Look at your lover. Look at your child. Look at the fire. Look at the light, my beloveds. Think about your nerve system. Okay, I did share it. Mwah. Many blessings. Bye.